She stood at the corner of a street that did not know her name. The city hummed and rushed and swallowed everyone whole, everyone except her. Amara pressed her back against cold concrete and watched strangers move like water around stone. She was the stone, out of place, out of time. Something ancient lived inside her chest, and this city had no room for ancient things. The apartment was 4 walls and a window that faced another wall. Amara sat on the floor. She never trusted chairs in this place, and closed her eyes. She tried to remember the sound of the river. The way pine and red clay smelled after rain. The reservation was hundreds of miles south, and every single one of those miles pressed against her lungs like a hand that would not let go. The city had taken her body. It had not taken her memory. She walked the city at night because the crowds thinned and she could almost pretend the streetlights were stars. Almost. Amara had no one here who understood the language of red earth and running water. No one who had ever sat beside a fire older than memory. She pulled her hoodie tight and felt the shadow stretch long behind her on the pavement, and for just a moment she thought it moved when she did not. She did not look back. She was afraid of what she would not see. She broke the night as shadow threatened to swallow her whole. Amara pressed her back to a cold wall, slid to the ground and wept. Real weeping, the kind that comes from the marrow. She said aloud to no one, "I have no one, I am alone." And then the shadow moved, not away from her, toward her. It wrapped around her like arms, like many arms. Like 100 generations arriving all at once to say, "You were never without us. You were never without us." She looked up and saw them, not with her eyes but with something older. The long procession of those who had walked red clay and river stone, who had sung to forests and spoken to the sky. They had followed her here into this gray and humming place. They had never left. Amara pressed her hand flat against the concrete and felt beneath it, impossibly, undeniably, the pulse of something deep and living. The earth remembered her even here, even now. She returned to the river. Not the city river, a concrete channel that barely remembered water, but the real one. She drove south until the soil turned red and the trees grew thick and the air smelled like everything she had ever loved. Amara stepped from the car onto the bank and the river recognized her before she could speak. She knelt at the water's edge, and for the first time in months her breathing came easy. Her body remembered what it was made of. The forest did not ask her to explain herself. The trees had known her people for centuries before a single city block was ever laid. Amara walked barefoot through the underbrush, and the ground gave beneath her steps like it had been waiting. She laughed, a real laugh, sudden and free, and the sound rose into the canopy. Above her, light fell in long cathedral shafts. Around her, the ancestor spirits walked quietly as they always had. She was not lost. She had never been lost. She would return to the city. She knew that now. But she would return differently, carrying the river in her spine, the forest in her breath, and 1,000 generations walking in her shadow. Amara had mistaken her shadow for loneliness. It was, in truth, the longest company in the world. She was a woman rooted in 2 worlds, displaced by none. Wherever she stood, the earth beneath her feet remembered her name, and that was enough. That was everything.
Thanks for watching. Hit that like button so we'll know you've enjoyed. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Truth Chronicles to receive daily updates.